guys, this is a series on Julius Caesar, the very famous tragedy of William Shakespeare. And this is the last lesson in the series, which will be covering the major themes on a glance of what Shakespeare's play was all about. What's the tragedy of Julius Caesar all about? And this is presented by me, Palak Sharma. Few things about me: I'm an economics honors student, a poet at heart, a theatre geek, a mixture of Keats and Shakespeare, and write what you have to do after you have watched the lesson and the series. Rate, review, recommend, and share this lesson. Here's my link. Follow me on an academy. We see that these are the major themes, the important themes of the play. There's heroes versus villains, they are the omens, the idealism, the identities, public and private, the ambition and the conflict, and the power of speech, which is unavoidable. So we first start with the heroes versus villains. Now, both Caesar and Brutus, they are perceived to be heroes and villains in Caesar. So, at the opening of the play, Caesar, he's hailed for his conquest and he's admired for his humility on refusing the crown. But once murdered, Caesar is painted as a powerful, hungry leader with the intention of enslaving Rome. But Brutus's speech, which follows Caesar's death, it successfully manipulates the common people's perspective. So by the end of his speech, the crowd is hailing Brutus for killing Caesar. Caesar is right, Brutus is right now, and Caesar is wronged after Brutus's speech. But the crowd, it is easily swayed once again when Antony speaks. So following Brutus's remark, Antony gives Caesar a eulogy, manipulating the crowd with stories of Caesar's kindness, how he was the right one, and sharing the details of Caesar's will, which leaves money to every Roman. So at the end of Antony's speech, the crowd is once again supportive of Caesar, mourns his death, and seeks to kill Brutus, Cassius, and other murderers. So the swaying opinions of the plebeians, the common people, and the great differences in opinion that the play presents, it leaves the audiences, it leaves us to determine who, if anyone, is the hero of the play, and who, if anyone again, is the villain of the play. So it's all upon us. The second theme of the play is the omens. So the seriousness with which Romans looked to omens, it is evident throughout Julius Caesar. So, however, ominous warnings and negative omens are often overlooked or interpreted, they are still being upheld. For example, Caesar ignores the soothsayer's warning to beware the Ides of March, the 15th of March. He ignores Calpurnia's detailed dream of his death. He ignores the negative sacrifice, the negative omen of the sacrificial animal who has no heart, without entrails. And he ignored these omens, and after all, he dies. So, in addition, we also saw that after the festival of Lupercalia, Casca sees many strange omens. He sees a man with a burning head, a lion roaming about the streets, and an owl screeching during the daytime. Cicero also, with whom Casca shares these matters, he explains that people will interpret omens as they see fit. So he invent their own explanation. They invent their own explanations that Caesar is going to die now, so it's good for Rome. So, like true to form, Casca interprets the strange omens as warning that Caesar's wish to rule Rome with an iron hand, and he'll destroy the Republic. The man with a burning hand is Caesar, and he's destroying the Roman Republic. The other omens that also play important part include the appearance of Caesar's ghost. It was very important again. And there's also a scene where eagles abandon the conspirators' camp. So we see that Cassius and Brutus's camp had eagles earlier, but soon they are replaced by vultures, the one who signify death and decay. So there's a warning, a supernaturalism in the play throughout the script. Third theme that we see is idealism, and it is especially for Brutus. So Brutus wishes for an ideal world. We see he is happily married, check. He lives in a beautiful home, check. He is successful according to all measures of Roman living, check. Then Brutus wishes for perfection in his life, and though he loves Caesar, Brutus fears that Caesar is too power hungry and he might possibly destroy the Republic of Rome. But Cassius understands Brutus's idealism, and he takes advantage of this idealism in order to manipulate Brutus into joining the conspiracy against Caesar. But at heart, we know it is Brutus's idealism that causes his ultimate downfall. Antony recognizes this fact when he addresses Brutus's dead body at the conclusion of the play. He says, "This was the noblest Roman of all." So this way, Brutus's idealism is both a flaw in his character, yet an advantage to his character, because we see this is why he's being upheld so much by the Roman Empire and Antony too. Then we see there's again a conflict in identities, both public and private. We see in Julius Caesar, the audience is able to see both the private and public sides of Caesar and Brutus. So we see that Caesar is very powerful and confident man who leads great armies, and he effectively rules the Roman Empire. Yet he is not without weakness. He is highly superstitious. He suffers from epilepsy. He ultimately proves to be a human when he's murdered by his closest friend. But similarly, we see that Brutus is strong and he refuses to show weakness when in public, whether it be speaking to the plebeians or leading an army into battle. But we see through his intimate conversations with his wife Portia and with Cassius that Brutus is often unsure and he is greatly pained at some times. Specifically, after fleeing Rome, Brutus learns that his wife has committed suicide and he's heartbroken when discussing it with Cassius. But we also know that as soon as soldiers enters his tent, he pretends to not know of her death, and when told of it, he doesn't even react to it with a great emotion. So we see that there is a separation of private and public life in this play. The fourth theme is ambition versus conflict. Now, Caesar, we know, is a great man. He's an ambitious man, as everyone say. His ambition is what worries Brutus. And this is what ultimately leads to Brutus joining the conspiracy to murder Caesar. Now, Cassius, he's also a very ambitious man. Cassius is no less ambitious than Caesar. And because he's so jealous of Caesar's power, he wishes to kill him to gain more power for himself. But ultimately, the ambition of these two men, Caesar plus Cassius, this leads to their great downfall and to the virtual anarchy, people without rule in the streets of Rome. So we also know that great ambitions, they always lead to conflict. This is the most important part of the play. Again, I would say that this is the whole gist of the play, that great ambitions lead to great conflicts and again to great downfalls. Now, the last theme which I would emphasize on is the power of speech. Speech plays a very important role in the plot of Julius Caesar because the plebeians are easily swayed into greatly opposing viewpoints through Brutus's and Antony's speeches. Antony has great manipulative powers and he manipulates the crowd. He causes anarchy in the streets of Rome and he creates the support for a mission to avenge Caesar's death. But we also see that in addition to this, Brutus is hesitant at first to join the conspiracy against Caesar. But after speaking with the highly manipulative Cassius, Brutus is more convinced. So we again see the power of speech, this time with Cassius. Then, after receiving an anonymous letter, which was actually written by Cassius, that decries the rule of Caesar. They cry about the rule of Caesar. So Brutus is convinced that he must take action and he agrees to join Cassius's murderous plot. We know that the play has really intrigued us a lot. We have done so much about the play. But I would just say in the end that most intriguing, of course, are the ways in which Shakespeare expanded upon the characters, in particular Julius Caesar and Marcus Brutus. So, despite having to fall as a dictator, Caesar is warmly portrayed and he is set as a man not built of ambition but rather as a tragic leader who's caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Brutus, he's cast in a similar light. He's taken far beyond that which Plutarch had intended. What Plutarch had written in his historical evidences, he's taken far beyond that. Shakespeare gives Brutus infallible convictions, and he shows him as a testament to honor, even when honor's course leads him down on an undesired path. Now, Shakespeare's play are an homage to his crown in his characterization of Caesar, but it seems that in Brutus is where the true definition of a Shakespearean hero lies. So we again understand this thing that Brutus is the real hero. It is his transformation, his journey, and his conundrum that we are going to study, that we studied, I guess, in the play. So I hope you all liked the series, and if you liked it, then do not forget the 3 R's in the S: rate, review, recommend, and share the lessons. In case of any doubt, any queries, feel free to write in the comment section, and I would definitely answer to all your queries. You can even share what you feel is important, something amazing which I might have missed, which I might have really missed because I have no expertise in this kind of field. So you can always write what you want to write and share it with us. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hope you enjoy it.